So, let's go. There is a direction you have never looked. Not left, not up, not behind you. A direction that sits at a right angle to every direction you know, and your brain has no slot to put it in. And from that direction, something could be looking back at you right now. Not through your skin. Around it. Seeing your heart beating, your lunch half digested, the inside of your skull, all at the same time, the way you can see every inch of a drawing on a flat page. That direction is the fourth dimension. And the disturbing part isn't science fiction, it's geometry. Everything on this list is something one extra dimension actually allows, starting inside your own chest and ending with the strangest possibility of all, which is what you might really be. Number 1, the surgeon. Picture a creature that lives on a flat sheet of paper, 2 dimensions, length and width, no thickness at all. To that creature, its skin is just a line drawn in a loop around its body. Everything important is sealed inside that loop. Safe. Now you walk up to the page, you're 3-dimensional. You look down, and here's the thing that should bother you. You can see everything inside that loop. Its guts, its little flat heart, all of it laid out like a diagram because the loop only closes off the 2 directions the creature knows about. It does nothing about the 3rd direction, the one it can't point to. So you reach down, not through the skin, over it, from above, where there's no wall at all, and you lift its heart straight out without ever crossing the line it calls its body. That creature would feel its heart vanish. It would find no cut, no wound, no opening. To it, the heart simply stopped existing, taken by nothing from nowhere. Now climb 1 dimension up. You are the flat creature. Your skin is a loop too, except it loops around all 3 of your directions instead of 2. It guards you from front, back, left, right, up, down, and it does absolutely nothing about the 4th direction, the one you can't point to. A 4-dimensional being could look down at you the way you looked at the page. Your sealed chest would be wide open to it. Your stomach, your brain, the inside of a locked safe across the room, all sitting there exposed. Physicist Michio Kaku has a name for what it could do. He calls it closed space surgery, reaching in, taking out a tumor or a kidney or your heart, and leaving the skin without a single mark. You would feel something leave. You would find no way it could have happened. And you would be right. There is no way. Not in any direction you've ever been able to see. Number 2, inside out. Hold up your hands, left and right. They look like the same hand, but they're not. You can twist them, spin them, turn them any way you like, and your left hand will never line up with your right. One is the mirror of the other, and in 3 dimensions, no amount of rotating can turn one into the other. Scientists call that chirality, handedness. Your whole body has it. Your heart sits on the left, your organs are arranged a specific way, and way down at the smallest scale, the molecules you're built from are handed too. Your proteins are made from left-handed amino acids. Your sugars are right-handed, always. Every living thing on Earth runs on the same handedness, like a factory that only ever makes one version of the part. Now take that flat paper creature again. Lift it off the page, flip it over in your 3-dimensional hands, and set it back down. It comes back mirror reversed. Everything that was on its left is now on its right. A rotation through a higher dimension did what no rotation in its own world ever could. Do that to a human, and you flip every layer at once. Your heart ends up on the right side of your chest. Fine, people are born like that. You could live with it. But you don't stop there. The flip goes all the way down. Every molecule in your body switches to its mirror version. Your left-handed amino acids become right-handed. Your sugars reverse, and that is the part that kills you. Because the food you eat is still built the old way. Your enzymes, the tiny machines that break that food down, are now the wrong shape to grab it. It's like every lock in your body got rebuilt overnight and nobody changed the keys. You would be whole. You would be conscious. You would be standing in a kitchen full of food. slowly starving because your body can no longer recognize a single bite of it as food. A writer named H.G. Wells imagined exactly this back in 1896. A man disappears, comes back, and his heart is beating on the wrong side. Everyone thinks it's a trick. It isn't. He went somewhere with an extra direction, and it turned him around. Number 3. The shadow that shouldn't exist. So, if a 4-dimensional thing came into your room, what would you actually see? Not a door opening. Not a figure stepping in. Go back to the page one more time. Push a solid ball down through that flat world. The flat creatures don't see a ball because they can't see up. They see a dot appear out of nowhere. The dot becomes a circle. The circle grows, then shrinks, then collapses back to a dot, and blinks out. A whole sphere reduced to a circle that breathes in and out of existence. Carl Sagan did this on television in 1980 with an apple and a flat tabletop world, and it's still the cleanest way to feel it. Now push a 4-dimensional object down through your room. You don't see the object. You can't. You see a slice of it. A shape made out of nothing hanging in the air, and as the thing moves through, the slice changes. It swells. It twists. Sides fold in where there shouldn't be room to fold. It turns itself inside out and then thins back down to a point and disappears. There's a 4-dimensional cube called a tesseract, and you've probably seen the picture of it. A small cube sitting inside a bigger cube with lines connecting the corners. Here's the unsettling truth about that image. The small cube isn't really small, it's the same size as the big one. It only looks smaller because part of it is farther away, in a direction that isn't depth. Your eyes are being shown something they were never built to hold, so they flatten it into a lie you can look at. A man named Charles Hinton spent years in the 1880s trying to train his own mind to see a tesseract directly. He memorized thousands of tiny colored cubes, each one a slice of the whole. People said it nearly broke him. Whatever comes through from that direction, it won't knock. It will simply appear wrong and leave the same way. Number 4, the prison with no walls. Draw a circle around our flat friend. To it, that circle is a perfect prison, a wall on every side it knows about. It can run in any direction it likes, and it will hit the line. There's no way out except you're still standing over the page, and to you, that prison has no roof. You just reach in and lift the creature straight up over the wall without ever touching the wall. From its point of view, it was sealed inside an unbroken ring, and then it was simply gone. Teleported. Except nothing teleported. It just moved in a direction the prison didn't account for. Now look at the room you're sitting in. Locked door. Solid walls. Maybe you feel safe inside it, but a locked room only seals off 3 directions. It does nothing about the 4th. To a 4-dimensional thing, your sealed room is exactly as open as that circle was to you. Wide open from a direction you can't even turn your head toward. That cuts both ways, and both ways are bad. Nothing 4-dimensional can ever be locked up by walls like ours, and nothing 4-dimensional ever has to break a wall to reach you. It doesn't pick the lock. It doesn't come through the window. It appears in the middle of the room, in the center of a sealed vault, inside a closed box, because for it, there was never anything in the way. You have spent your whole life trusting that a closed door means something. 1 dimension up, it means nothing at all. Number 5, the life you've already finished. Up to now, we've been talking about a 4th direction in space, but there's another thing that gets called the 4th dimension, and you're sitting inside it right now. Time. Einstein showed that space and time aren't separate things, they're stitched together into one fabric, space-time, and time is the 4th thread. And once you take that seriously, something cold falls out of the math. Think about places in space. The city you were born in still exists even though you're not there. A place you've never been still exists even though you can't see it. Distance doesn't make a place stop being real. Now apply that exact logic to time. If time is just another direction in the fabric, then the same rule holds. The moment of your birth still exists, back there. And the moment of your death already exists, up ahead. Not will exist. Exists. Right now. At its own address in time, as real as the chair you're in. Physicists call this the block universe. Past, present, and future all sitting there together, finished, frozen, every moment equally real. Nothing comes into being. Nothing passes away. The feeling that time is flowing, that now is moving forward. That's just what it's like to be a creature dragged along one thread of the block. It isn't the block changing. It's you, reading it one line at a time. And this isn't a fringe idea. It's probably the view most physicists quietly hold, because it's the cleanest way to read what relativity actually says. Sit with what that means. The day you die is already out there, fully formed, with you in it. You're not walking toward it. You're already standing in it, somewhere up the line. You just haven't read that far yet. Number 6, the folds in every atom. Here's a comforting thought you should probably let go of. The extra dimension, wherever it is far away, out past the stars somewhere. Not your problem. String theory says no. String theory, our best attempt at a single rulebook for everything, only works if the universe has more than the dimensions you can see. Not 5, not 6, 10, 3 of space, 1 of time, and 6 more hiding in plain sight. And here's where they're hiding, not far away. Folded up. So tightly and so small that you walk through them constantly without the faintest idea. At every single point in the air in front of your face, there's a knot of 6 extra dimensions curled into a shape with a name, a Calabi-Yau manifold, twisted into itself like origami done by something that doesn't think the way you do. How small? Take a single proton, one of the specks inside one atom. The fold is about 100 billion trillion, times smaller than that. It's everywhere, in every gap, in the space between the words you're hearing, and it's so tiny that nothing we've ever built can see into it. In 1985, a group of physicists worked out that the exact shape of that fold might decide everything: what particles exist, how heavy they are, which forces are strong and which are weak. The entire character of your universe, set by the precise way 6 invisible dimensions are crumpled up at every point in space. So, the extra dimension isn't out there, it's threaded through you. You're standing in it. You always have been. Number 7, the gravity leak. Do something for me. Picture a fridge magnet picking up a paper clip. Tiny thing, barely any effort. Now realize what it just beat. The entire planet Earth is pulling that paperclip down with all the gravity of an entire world, and a magnet the size of your thumbnail wins. Easily. Gravity, the force that shapes galaxies, is so unbelievably weak that a toy beats a planet. Physicists hate this. They call it the hierarchy problem, and for decades nobody could explain why gravity is such a pushover compared to every other force. Then, in 1998, 3 of them offered an answer that should make the hair on your neck stand up. Maybe gravity isn't weak, maybe it's leaking. The idea goes like this. Every other force, light, magnetism, the forces inside atoms, is stuck to our world, pinned to the 3 dimensions you live in. But gravity isn't pinned. Gravity is carried by something that can slip out into the extra dimensions, into the space we can't reach. So the gravity you feel isn't the whole of it, it's the leftovers, the part that didn't escape. Most of it is bleeding away into a direction you can't see, which is exactly why what's left feels so faint. Stay with that. Every time you stand up, every time you drop your keys, you are feeling the small fraction of a force that mostly drains somewhere else. And whatever is on the other side of that leak, in the dimensions the rest of it pours into, it feels your gravity tugging toward it the same way you feel its. The door isn't theoretical. You lean on it every second of your life. Number 8, the 4-dimensional corpse. You've been told the universe began with the Big Bang. A point. An explosion. The start of everything. Here's a real theory, published by working physicists in 2014, that says the Big Bang wasn't a beginning at all. It was a death. Watch how a star dies in our universe. A big one runs out of fuel, collapses, and crushes itself into a black hole. A point of no return wrapped in a surface called an event horizon. A one-way door that nothing escapes. That's a 3-dimensional star making a black hole with a 2-dimensional surface around it. Now go up a level. Imagine a 4-dimensional universe with 4-dimensional stars. One of them dies. It collapses the same way, but because it has an extra dimension, the black hole it makes is wrapped in a 3-dimensional surface, and here's the line that should stop you cold. That three-dimensional surface, the debris flung out around that dying four-dimensional star, expanding outward, that might be us. Our entire universe. Every galaxy, every star, you, sitting there, all of it a thin shell of wreckage thrown off by something collapsing in a bigger world. The physicists who proposed then, their paper came out in April of 2014, liked it for a cold, practical reason. It hides the messy, broken moment of the Big Bang behind a horizon, the same way a black hole hides its center. We can't see our own beginning because our beginning is the inside of someone else's grave. The start of everything you know might just be the aftermath of a death you'll never witness, in a place with one more direction than yours. Number 9, the things that don't belong. Let's go back to being watched, because now you have the tools to understand exactly how exposed you are. A four-dimensional observer looking at you wouldn't have X-ray vision. It wouldn't need it. It would simply have a line of sight from a direction that runs perpendicular to your entire world. From there, every part of you is on the surface. Your beating heart, the back of your eyes, the inside of your bones, the contents of your closed hand, the other side of every wall in your house. All of it visible at once with nothing in front of anything. To something in the fourth dimension, you are not a sealed body in a private room. You are a diagram laid flat on a table, and it is reading you. That much is just geometry. Now, I have to be honest with you about where the solid ground ends. Everything up to this sentence is what the math allows. What comes next is not science. It's the question the math leaves hanging, and nobody can answer it. Because once you know that a four-dimensional thing would appear out of nowhere, change shape, and vanish exactly like that sphere blinking through the flat world, it's tempting to look at every story of something that appeared where it couldn't have, or vanished from a locked place, and wonder. There is no evidence for that. None. It's not a claim. It's the shape of a thought the geometry hands you and then refuses to finish. So here's what's true. If something does live in that direction, it has already seen all of you, completely, and you have never once seen it. Not because it's hiding, because you don't have the eyes. Number 10, you are a cross-section. One last turn of the same screw, and this one's about you. Our flat creature, the one on the page, believes it is whole, complete, a full and finished being. It has no idea that it's actually paper thin, a single flat slice with no concept of up. If you told it the truth, it couldn't picture it. It would insist it was a whole creature, because being a slice is all it has ever known. Now ask the obvious question, what if you're the slice? What if you were a thin three-dimensional cross-section of something that extends in the fourth direction, the way a single frame is a slice of a whole film, the way that flat creature was a slice of a solid one? What you call your body might be one cross-section of a much larger shape stretching off in a direction you were never built to feel. And the powerful, certain sense you have right now of being a complete, solid, separate person, that might be exactly the mistake the flat creature makes. The mistake a shadow makes when it thinks it's the whole thing, and not just where the light didn't reach. We started this looking for what lurks in the fourth dimension, something out there, in a direction you can't point to. But the geometry keeps pointing back the other way. The thing in the fourth dimension might not be across the room, or inside the wall, or watching from outside. The direction you've never looked might be the one you're already made of.